the peak. Without no regret, you got no love. Without no love, you got no regret. Without no regret, you got no.
Hello guys, welcome back to Premier League Game Week Review 29. Deep in it before, we've done 29 of these, we've got 9 more left. I'm with Thomas again today. How are you?
I'm all good, mate. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. I'm quite nervous for later on. I've currently got butterflies, but yeah, I'll be setting off to Old Trafford in around 6:30, 2.5 hours, so not long away. We're just going to be discussing the Premier League Game Week and all the results, and United possibly getting our hopes up yet again, but we'll see. Now we'll talk about Brighton Liverpool first off. Now Luis Diaz. And I'm not sure if it's you I've spoke to about this. I've definitely spoke to my uncle about this. But there's a difference between United's signings and Liverpool's signings. And I'm not just going to say United signed the big names because we don't. We do sign the Victor Lindelofs, the Diogo Dalot, etc., etc. But with Liverpool, they profile sign. So they sign a certain profile which will suit their system or suit their play or suit their game, etc., etc. And Luis Diaz is a perfect example of that, and he's got on the score sheet there on Saturday. What is your thoughts on the signing of Luis Diaz and Diaz in general?
I think Luis Diaz, I watch, as you know, I do watch a lot of European football, so I was aware of Luis Diaz about a year or two now. I really like Diaz, and I thought he would have been. I think he's very suited to the Premier League because he's actually quite physical, which you kind of need to be play well in the Premier League. Of course, there's players to define or go against that rule, but Diaz is very good. He's very modern, I think. He's skillful. He's quite fast. He is very fast. And we've seen with his goal against Brighton that he has the attributes to do well in the Premier League. And I think it was a very good sign at the time. And I believe they only got him for £35 million, which is a coup, in my opinion. And I understand he's from the Portuguese league and people don't credit them or give them respect to the Premier League, or the Portuguese league, sorry. But there's plenty of evidence suggesting that the Portuguese league is quite a brilliant league, because we got Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon, Ruben Diaz came from Benfica, and of course with Luis Diaz, he's came in from Porto. So it's quite obvious that there's good players good quality players, in the Portuguese league that can adapt to the Premier League. And I think Luis Diaz is going to be a brilliant signing for Liverpool. And I know you're saying there about Liverpool's signings and in comparison to ours. And I must say, even though I absolutely despise Liverpool and hate everything about them, but you have to respect their the process they go through to make signings. They look at it's all about the profile, the age, the injury record, and I remember slagging them over the signings of Salah, Mane, Van Dijk, Alisson. I was thinking they are not Liverpool signings, and like you said, they clearly fit the system that Jurgen Klopp deploys for Liverpool, and I think it's another classic example of Liverpool signing a perfect player for them. And we've seen with Diogo Jota a year or two ago, when he signed from Wolves, it was a very big fee. I think it was 45, 50 million pounds. And again, I slagged that off, but I always had a thought in the back of my head that he was going to be a good striker or a good forward player for them. And we've seen with Diaz and Jota that they both have in the air, they're quite underrated. Both Jota's brilliant. It's quite clear that Klopp and his scouting team at Liverpool do a thorough research on every player, and Diaz is another, I think.
I'm not sure if your connection's cut out there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a bit laggy, yeah.
Yeah, all right. We'll get into the comments in a second, but CR7 fan has just confirmed, and I've just seen that this a United tweet has come out as well. Liverpool versus Man United is now on Tuesday, the 19th of April. I'm not sure whether I'm going to try and do everything I possibly can to watch it, but I may have a plan on that night, but I'm not sure. I will try and do everything I possibly can. So excited for tonight. Don't be disrespecting Tom and I, CR7 fan. Diaz Jota, it's scary, man. It is. Diaz says hi. Hope you're well, dear. Hope you're excited for the game. I'm very nervous though. Kenny says, "Yo, I hope you're well." Going to it. Now with Salah, Fabrizio Romano, I'm not sure if you've seen over the past hour, he tweeted that the contract talks have broken down between Liverpool and Salah. He is only focused on Liverpool right now. There's a lot of talk about Salah's contract. Do you think he'll stay, or do you think that the FSG will just let him go?
I see. I do keep up to date with the likes of Salah and his news because I do really rate Salah, and I know a lot of people claim, oh, he's very limited and all this. I think it's an absolute joke. I think he's one of the best players in the world, and I know he plays for Liverpool, but you have to respect his ability to score goals, and he's in the best league in the world, in my opinion, the Premier League, or arguably one of the best. He's doing it day in, day out. He's quite consistent, and he's in his prime now. I think he's 28, 29. He's in his prime, and he has 1 year left in his deal. Now, the thing is, Mohamed Salah, I've thought about this before. Would he leave? And I'm pretty sure he wants to stay. But it's all about Liverpool are they're quite strict on the wages they give out, and they're insist on a wage structure. Sorry, and everyone has obviously their wages. But I think if the likes of Salah was to sign a £500,000 a year week deals at Liverpool, I think that would destroy the structure of the club wage wise. It wouldn't be a big deal, for example, if we were to put that in comparison to Paul Pogba, where if we were to offer him £500,000 a week, a lot of other players are on unreasonable wages anyway at the club, so it makes sense. But the likes of Liverpool, you need to offer new deals to big crucial players that are young, like Trent, Jota, Konate, if he continues his development. Midfielders, everyone would need to sign a new, better deal because they've seen what they've given to Mohamed Salah. But the big question, like you said, is will he leave? And I don't think he will. Like I said before, I believe he wants to stay at the club, and every fans obviously love him. Klopp loves him. The board probably definitely do love him. He's very marketable, and of course he's well known, and of high respect for him, because he's obviously very vocal about his religion and stuff like this. That he's a Muslim, and I think things like this will be very attractive to likes of Real Madrid, that are very they respect all cultures. They're very dynamic fan base, and that's why Pogba is so well known at Manchester United. For stuff like this, and of course Salah is so like I said, reputable, and he's very brandable. I think he will end up staying, but I don't think he'll be on the
marketability is a huge factor.
It is, definitely is, but I don't know if Liverpool will focus on that and think it's adds extra value to the player. But I think ultimately he'll stay, and he'll be about.
I hope he doesn't stay. To be quite honest, I'm sure you'll hope he doesn't stay either. He is fit for tomorrow. We'll be doing a watch along of that tomorrow. Also, a video is being pre-recorded, but it won't be going on my channel tomorrow. I'll be pre-recording a video of someone with 30,000 subscribers, so that should be good. Dia says, if Salah played under Manchester United's board, I assume he means, we would have offered him £800,000 a week, probably.
Very true. Yeah.
Obviously, there's no footballer in the world. I've been very vocal on my Twitter about this. No footballer in the world is worth even £400,000 per week, in my opinion. Unfortunately, it's just the current structure of the market, and I genuinely think it's unsustainable. But that's for another day. I would actually like to do a video on something like that with someone who knows the financial side of the game, like inside out. However, do you think he's worth the £350,000 a week that he's demanding?
He definitely is. Like I said, he's previously I think he's one of the best players in the world. And if you ask any Liverpool fan what you think about Salah, they'll say that as well. He is the best. And I'm not sure because likes of Lewandowski, Benzema, Ronaldo, Messi as well. Like these players are obviously. I don't think there is a best player in the world. I think there's a tier of best players in the world. And Salah definitely fits under that. I mean, he's so prolific. He scores. He tops the top goal scorer charts in every season since he's joined, and he's definitely worth that amount of money. It's all about if Liverpool are willing to pay that or not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it will be a big loss if they do lose him. Going to Brentford and Burnley. Now, Ivan Toney just what people will call stat padding. He's got 5 goals in his past 3 games.
Yeah.
I think he's underrated, to be quite honest. I think he's. I will put him up there with Mikhail Antonio, or maybe even better than Mikhail Antonio. I think he's better than Ollie Watkins. I think he's one of the most underrated strikers in the league. In the sense of, obviously, I probably wouldn't take him at United, but just for a side like Brentford, I think he fits perfectly. What's your thoughts? Do you think he could go to a bigger side, or do you think he fits perfectly for a side like that?
Yeah, I rate Ivan Toney. I've been following him since his Peterborough days. I really respect his story. He came through Newcastle and they didn't deem him good enough in 2015, 14, around that time. And they sold him to lower leagues, and he's just been rising through the leagues ever since then. He's won League One with Peterborough. He got promoted, signed for Brentford. When they sold some firepower, like you just previously mentioned, Ollie Watkins, and he's shown the championship for a season or two that he is a brilliant striker. And he, again, I was mentioning about Jota earlier, and Diaz. Even Tony has the attributes to play in the Premier League as well. I mean, he's strong, physical. He scores every type
Fast
of
as
goal.
well.
He's quite fast, yeah. And he's, like you said, he is a kind of the build and the mold of Michael Antonio. And I'd argue he is better than Michael Antonio. The only thing with even Tony is, I don't know how old he is. I think he's 25, 26.
I'll
So
check now. Let me just
check.
Google it. Ivan Toney age. He is 25. 16th of March 1996. So he's 26 tomorrow. Actually, ironically, he's 26 tomorrow.
Mad. Oh yeah, well he's coming to his prime now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think he has one more move left in him, as in terms of he'll stay for Brentford a year or two if they stay up, and as soon as they go down, he'll be sold. I mean, he's clearly too good for the Championship.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, he's proven to be a Premier League striker, and only in the sparingly few months he's been in the Premier League with us, and I think he will go to the likes of an Everton. I know they're not great at the moment, but I think his level probably an Aston Villa or someone like that, or Leicester, who can push for a Conference League, Europa League spot. And I think he'll move when the time is right. 28, 29, he might move. And I think it's inevitable that as soon as Brentford get relegated, he'll move onto a bigger club, and that'd be his career. I don't know if he'll go. I don't know if he's England level, but he's definitely a different option compared to others in the England.
He is,
squad,
yeah. He's a different option. I wouldn't say he's England level currently, but then again, I've been speaking about England so much with people recently.
Yeah.
And if you look at the understudies to Kane, who have we actually got? We did have someone, but he's not a footballer anymore. And who have we actually got as the understudy to Kane? Like Sterling can play there, but can he really? Rashford can't. He's not that level right now, is he? Tony, he's still not that level right now, but who is really the understudy there? For me, it would be Charlie McNeil, but that's another day. You know me with Charlie McNeil. But yeah, it's not United Arena CR7 fan. I'm pretty sure I told you who I'm recording with. I won't say yet though. Do you think we should move to a salary cap sport, such as rugby league as a salary cap sport? I do agree. I do think this. Before I asked you, Thomas, I was having a conversation with my driving instructor. Just bear in mind, this is all hypothetical, Thomas, and everyone who is watching. Now, a structure could be implemented in place. It won't be, but it could be, where a player is on, let's say, £100,000 a week cap, like gradual, and then if he meets this target, let's say 5 goals in his first 10 games, for example. Let's just say, I know not really many players are going to reach that, but it's just an example. Then it goes up to £150,000 per week. And then another target, 20 goals in a season, it goes up to £200,000 per week the next season. I feel like that could be a better structure rather than just throwing £500,000 a week at Paul Pogba or Kylian Mbappe or Marcus Rashford or bloody Harry Maguire or David De Gea, any player, just any, like Phil Jones, for example, he's on £80,000 per week. Maybe if you capped his wage at £20,000 a week, and then say if you can play 20 games per season, you can have more wages. Do you agree with that, or do you think that's just completely a bad ideology?
No, I like the idea of a salary cap, and it's been introduced in the likes of American football, NFL, like Sean said there, rugby league. The only I do have a few problems with it in terms of I think it's a great idea. But I think there's a few problems with the ideology of a salary cap. Example one, there's just far too much money in the sport to be capping salaries, and I don't know where that excess money will go to. And unless you trust FIFA with the money,
I feel like
which I
that
don't
the
think any
money
of us
would,
do, you know.
if there was to be a salary cap, again, there would be so many factors. I feel like, and I don't have the answer, obviously, but surely TV prices would have to come down, the package prices,
Yeah.
season ticket prices would have to come down, ticket prices, membership prices would have to come down, and then money in football would sort of slowly deflate to the point where it
Yes.
is possible, I guess. But obviously, I don't trust FIFA, nor UEFA, nor the Premier League with that sort of money.
Yeah. It's a tough one because I don't want to go into business here, but it's all about supply and demand. And
Yeah.
when it comes to football, it's the most played sport in the world. It's the most televised sport in the world. It's the most watched sport in the world. It trumps the likes of Super Bowl viewers compared to a Champions League final viewers. It's simply too profitable, and I don't want to go into the. I'm just going to give an example here. I don't want to go into the women's football because I know people have argued they should be paid the same level, which I disagree with because their sport isn't as money generated, so it should even out. And I don't want to go into that, so I'll move off. But
That's
I'm just
fine,
giving an example there. Yeah, of course. Football is simply the amount of money involved in it. And I know I've had like family members, for example, question the motives and logistics of the amount of money involved in football. And it's quite simple that it's people pay extortionate money to watch these games. And obviously
Yeah.
you are a season ticket holder at Manchester United. I've only been to a few games because I live in Ireland, but you get to pay and watch arguably the best footballers play the game in the
Yeah.
best clubs, the best leagues, and it's a salary cap is a great idea, but I just don't know whether the likes of I think there's too much power with footballers nowadays to be told, right, you're on 120 grand a week cap, and if you meet these requirements, you go up to 150. I just don't know if in the long term it's a good idea to be capping players, but I love the idea, and I think it'd be a great idea. And the likes of you move away from problems like Phil Jones and Dele Alli's and all these people. I'm not just name dropping them, but people like that in their situations where they're on extortion amount of money and they can't actually live up to that wage. But I do like the idea of a salary cap. Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree. Do you think Brentford are safe? So I've got the table up here. Brentford are 15th on 30 points, and Everton and Watford are on 22 points. Obviously, Watford are 18th, and Everton are 17th. So, do you think they're safe? I think they're safe.
Brentford, yeah, I think I see Christian Eriksen's coming to his own, thankfully, and obviously what happened during the Euros, it's so sad, but he's came back and he's to a harder league than Serie A, and I do watch Serie A, and Premier League is a much more physically demanding, tougher league than Serie A, and he's just shown on a weekly basis, and I love watching him play well because I remember we were linked to him under Ollie. Before we got Bruno, we were linked to Ericsson from
Yeah, I remember
Spurs,
that. Yeah, I
and
do remember that now.
yeah, and I really liked Ericsson at Spurs. Oh, he's a brilliant player, very underrated, and he's come to his own at Brentford. And I don't know if that's his level, but he's playing really well there. And I do rate Thomas Frank as a manager. I do like Brentford's team. I like their style of play. And we obviously were mentioning Ivan Toney. They play around him, and it's quite clearly a good team. I don't know whether in the latter stages of this season, in April time, May time, if Brentford would slip into a relegation battle, but I think there's just too much teams in and around the relegation spot for
Yeah,
Brentford to be dragged down. So
I agree. 5 goals, 3 with penalties. Love it. Tony is the English Chris Wood. He supports Liverpool anyway. Seen him supports Liverpool. I'll agree with you. 25 more technically gifted than Antonio. Can agree with that. Tammy Abraham, the understudy. Definitely, he's having a good season. KG14 is back. I hope you've moved house successfully, mate. Can't believe there's 14 years between Ronaldo's first hat-trick and second for us. We will be getting into that. I agree with the salary cap, but so many footballers would stop playing if there was a cap. Possibly, yeah.
he's right.
They changed. Oh,
Because
I'm not reading that out. Sorry, go on.
No, yeah, literally, and as a final thought on the salary cap, KG is right there. I think when it comes to football, some players are motivated by money, and it's just some
Yeah.
people. Me and you, because we're not in the privileged position to play football, for a wage. As I know of, I don't think you are, but yeah, I don't.
Oh
I'm
no,
not
I'm
sorry.
definitely not. I'm probably worse at football than you are. I'm terrible playing.
Really?
Yeah, I'm
Listen,
awful. Yeah.
the thing is with football, it is some players are motivated with money, and we've seen with a player that I'm not going to mention because obviously it's irrelevant and he's not playing for the club anymore. But we see with players like that, young players going into money at a young age, it can result in a shift in personality and stuff like this. And clearly, players like that are motivated by money. Youngsters and all over the globe. But I think he is right though, KG. I think there is simply because of the money is very more. It's much attractive to be a footballer, compared to an average job. So
Definitely, yeah. I don't think they should be paid the same as men's football because the game doesn't generate as much and much less
exactly,
people go
yeah.
to the games. Yeah, I do agree, but that will be another conversation for another day. It's quite controversial. Tony Clare of Rashford currently his form is yes, more assists than Lascelles had in 2 years. Talk about Ericsson, that's amazing.
Oh.
Abdullah says, "Hi guys, please not Maguire starting." He did make a mistake the other day with the own goal. I feel like it was a lose situation for Maguire himself because Romero would have tapped it in anyway. I would start Lindelof tonight, definitely though. Yeah, I'm very, very nervous. I've got butterflies and I'm leaving in 2 hours. So Amani says, "Yo, I hope you're well, mate." Yeah, it's been a long move, but almost done. It must be stressful. I've never moved house before. Lateness is greatness indeed. Any bait since I've been gone? There's been loads, KG. There's been loads. Now, Burnley, do you think they're down?
Burnley, that's actually a hard one, I would have backed them in December and January that they're going down because they had so much games in hand and they're bottom of the table. I was like, yeah, they're gone. Because they're relying, I think I said previously on shows that they rely on Cornet and Vic Weghorst, and they're just not good enough. But as Sean Dyche does, he plays 1960s football and he's got them back in the hunt for staying up. I mean,
Yeah.
he is simply
1 point
I
off.
don't know how he's done it. Yeah,
He's got to
I
be
think
one of the most underrated managers in the league.
Sean Dyche,
Yeah.
he probably is, but I think it's because I don't like his style of football and they always do well against us.
They're never
Well,
good
half-time.
to watch, are they? You wouldn't say, let's put them Burnley highlights on. It's prime football. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, like with the game we're about to speak about, United versus Spurs, that's what you would say. You've got
Yes.
first of all, you've got Pastor Fred unleashing his inner Iniesta.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is Pastor Fred and what have you done with him? All I saw was Iniesta on that pitch the other day. Unplayable. What a player!
He was really good.
He was amazing. He got an assist. He got a yellow card, which fair. Obviously, Ronaldo getting the hat trick. Now I know we conceded 2 goals due to generally individual mistakes.
Yeah.
I thought that was one of our better performances of the season. Though maybe it's just because of the atmosphere at Old Trafford and the excitement of it all and how I was feeling. But I thought we performed very, very well. I thought everything was balanced. And this isn't like a dig at any player that wasn't in the team because Bruno Fernandes is amazing, for example. Shaw last season was amazing. He hasn't been so amazing this season. And I thought Tellez, despite that handball, I thought he played very, very, very well. The amount of times he was free on that flank and he's like, give it me. And no one's giving it him. It was unbelievable. But the star of the show, Cristiano Ronaldo, I have to apologise once again. I was wrong about Ronaldo. I just was. Do you think top 4's back on?
That's I know we were talking about this so many times, and I've been like, yeah. I know you've been a big backer of top 4 as well, and we were very optimistic and positive about it.
I choose to be quite deluded, optimistic, what people would say, but I prefer that.
Oh, listen, I know you think we're going to win the Champions League and England are going to win the World Cup, all this stuff, and I don't mind that. I think that's great that you're so positive. I'm not so much. I'm quite a realist, I think. When it comes to football, I'm not biased. I tend to look at both sides of an argument when it comes to football, and I think with United, it's not possible. I think it's going to be a 30% chance we're going to get it through for top four, because Arsenal have games in hand. They're above us at the moment.
Them games
We need to go to the Emirates as well. Yeah, the thing is with I've seen that argument as well. The thing is with their games, we have to play the exact same team, so it levels out.
Yeah,
so I don't think it really matters. We need to go to the Emirates as well, which is going to be a very tough game, and it's going to be pivotal. Sorry, to who gets top four. But I think we're more likely to get top four, arguably in the Champions League, than the actual Premier League.
Well, we've
so
got to praise Chelsea get this points deduction that this sale doesn't go through in the next 6 weeks, which after the news released today by the BBC, it doesn't seem like it's going to be, to be quite honest. So would you mind getting it by default, or would you be sort of frustrated by getting it by default with that points deduction if that happens?
Yeah, I don't want to prey on other teams, rival teams getting deducted, something that's not in their control.
No,
for us
I
to
guess
profit off that, you know.
That's fair.
That's
fair.
Yeah, whoever gets top four deserves it, and I think Arsenal do deserve it at the moment. We just don't deserve it.
Yeah, they definitely deserve it. In terms of the performance, do you think it was a good performance, or was it just me feeling with the atmosphere at Old Trafford?
Yeah, well, when I had a few points on me, a few beers, I thought everything was a great performance in that match. But realistically, I watched it again on the Sunday, and I thought, if we didn't have Ronaldo, we could have easily drawn that. I thought we did play well, and I think Fred had his monthly good performance, and he's going to play bad next game. But I do like Fred. He played really well, and I think that's because he had a lot of space. And I know Pogba was very average, which I was a bit disappointed.
I don't think he was. A lot of people said he was.
Right.
And you know what? I've been a big doubter of Pogba. I just don't think he was average. I thought he played very well, and I said this on Twitter not last night. Sorry, I said it when I was on the way back from Old Trafford, and I got absolutely roasted for saying it. So I decided to delete the tweet. But I thought he played very well on Saturday. To be quite honest, I thought he held up play quite well. I think you know me. I've been a big doubter of Pogba, so I guess anyone will take Pogba prop when they can get it from me. But yeah. What team would you go with tonight? Would you go with McTominay and Fred to just hold it up a bit, or?
Yeah, I believe everyone's fit bar. Who was not fit? Is it Shaw? Yeah, it might be. I heard Bruno's in the running to be playing again, which is great because I love Bruno and I think he's so important to our team, contrary to what people believe. But listen, I have my own team, what I pick, and Ralph's team, because Ralph seems to just disagree with a lot of things I would like. I would love to see Bruno, Pogba, in the same team, as in Pogba on the wing, or Bruno on the wing, sorry, because he can actually feed the overlap to Delô, for example. Because I think you know my opinions on Marcus Rashford, and I think he's spiraling, and he's going to end up being the next Danny Welbeck if he keeps going with the rate he's going.
I want to ask you about.
So I wouldn't play Rashford.
I want to ask you about Rashford.
I
want to ask you about it because I've had a few conversations with Red Devils Digest with Gavin and Kine about Rashford. Well, probably a conversation every single week at this point about Rashford, and the consistent sort of solution we got was Rashford is trying to run himself into form, into incredible form, and like something that frustrates my uncle more than it does me, because I know Rashford is trying, but my uncle gets infuriated with it. Rashford tries to run through a human being like the person isn't there, and it's like someone there. You need to make the simple pass. So we came to the solution. Rashford needs to do the simple things right and the basics right before he does anything else, before he starts banging in the goals or getting the assists. And I think there was an improvement the other day. I know we've had this talk last week with Rashford and concern about playing time, which he has got to earn that playing time. But I think there was an improvement the other day in the sense of tracking back, retaining the ball, making runs, trying even. Do you agree with that, or do you think it's just still not enough?
Yeah, there was an improvement, even if it was a slight one. There was, because what I was seeing in the Manchester derby was absolutely disgusting. I thought he was disgraceful as a Manchester United player. In a Manchester derby, I mean, did Scott McTominay play in Manchester derby? I don't think he did. Did he?
I can't remember. I've tried to wipe that out of my
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah, fair to say. But
Yeah,
the likes of McTominay, we've seen him against Leeds. The amount of passion he shows is why it levels out what I think about him as a player. As in, I think he's not great as a footballer, but it does level out with passion because.
McTominay did play in the derby. He did.
Oh, he did, right? Okay. I thought, he's a bit invisible, wasn't he? Yeah, I was surprised by that. But at least he tried. Because some players against City were just downright disgraceful, like I said. Rashford just wasn't trying. Lingard wasn't trying. And I was done when I seen that. Now Rashford was slightly better if it was better, but you are right. What you and the lads say on Devil's Digest, which you should watch. It's a great show. Rashford he does genuinely think he's Lionel Messi. He runs through players like he's fucking Superman. It's so frustrating, and I do understand what your uncle is saying. It does frustrate the hell out of me. When he gets the ball, I think we're going to lose it. Because, like you said, he tries too hard. Yes, he does need to do the simple, basic stuff. Because you cannot just get the ball. Like, this isn't the under-14s football. You can't just get the ball and run through 7 people and score worldly. This is professional football against best clubs in the best leagues. You cannot just run through the fullback and think, it'd be easy as this. You can't. He's trying too hard. You are right. And I think he does need to do the simple stuff like cross the ball and giving goals, passing the ball, rather than just his instinct to shoot, or dribble. I understand that's a big part of his game. But if he wants to stay a Manchester United player, he needs to develop and add more to his game rather than just get the ball, try, take a man on and shoot, So
yeah, I completely agree with you there. Let's get into the comments here. Please let Burnley get relegated. I wouldn't mind if he got relegated.
Please.
Burnley went from a few good results to not scoring in 3 games straight. Unbelievable. I have apologised about Ronaldo several times now. Fred, I think you mean Zidane or Iniesta. I don't know. 7 out of 10. We need to gain some consistency for top 4 to be back on. I do agree with that. Especially as Arsenal have picked up like the most points in the league this year so far, which is unbelievable. Better team performance without McTominay. It was indeed. Pogba was shit. I don't think he was, to be quite honest. McTominay and Fred have to start tonight. I've said this, but again, I'm not sure. It was decent, not great, not bad, just decent. Your old profile picture on Twitter, that was Rashford. Because I, not gonna lie, was that Rashford? Because not gonna lie, I thought that was Bruno for months. Yeah, it was Rashford. Yeah, yeah, he did. It was awful. Hold on. Leeds lineup from what I'm told. I don't know whether CR7 fan actually has got sources, but sometimes he's been right. Heya, Delo, Varane, Maguire, Telles, McTominay, Fred, Bruno, Rashford, Ronaldo, Sancho. Surely we can beat them with that, man. Surely. Do you disagree with that team?
I disagree. Yeah, of course. I disagree with Maguire. I know you back Harry Maguire. I do not like him. He needs to be dropped immediately.
I don't think he should play tonight, to be honest.
No, I don't think he should. It's a quite crucial game as well for a season.
Yeah.
Tellez, I understand. McTominay, Fred, they should play together. Just to lock it down, like not concede. Rashford, it's not the game for him. I think it's See, the thing is, we don't have a lot of options on the wing anymore because of the incident that happened, and Martial was loaned out. I think we are very limited there. We only have one Mata, who apparently, according to Ralph, can play at this level. I strongly disagree, but Antti Elanga, I think we should bring him on late. I would say late, 70 minute, 60 minute for Rashford. So maybe Rashford should start. I think Elanga should come on later because we've already seen the first leg. We did that and he scored. So, and he's very, very fast. He's electric. Yeah. Ronaldo should start. And I think Sancho could be crucial as well. It's funny with Jadon Sancho because my mates were mocking him, calling him 007, 0 goals, 0 assists, 7 appearances. And I'm laughing in their face now because saying Sancho was one of the best wingers in the league now. On
He's
form.
so
He
good.
is so good.
He's so like he's incredible. Like
he is so good.
Myself included in this, and you know how much I like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. When Solskjaer was playing him on the left, when he first brought him on, I think he brought him on against Leeds, but then he brought him on against Southampton, didn't he? I think that was away from home. And I went, why have you put him on the left? Like why do you keep doing that? And he was a visionary. He's seen something. He's better on the left. We bought a right winger that's better on the left. It's a bit mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's worked out.
The thing is with Sancho, when he played for Dortmund in his younger days and up until we signed him, it was quite clear how Jadon works. On the right wing, he's much more selfish. He's more of a assister, a creator. On the left wing, he scores goals, and we've seen that recently. When the goals is gone. And I mean, we bought him as a right winger, as you said, and now he's our left winger because our other left winger isn't up to scratch at the moment.
No, yeah.
Yeah, and Jadon can play in the hole number 10 as well. He can be there, great there as well. And if push comes to shove and we somehow in a situation where we need a striker, he could potentially fill in there. But you are right, he seems to be our best left winger at the moment. And the thing is with Ollie, he did play him left wing a few times, and I was like, fair enough. But I think Ollie just didn't bet him into the team enough. He just kept benching him for some reason. And he's coming to pass under Ralph, who understands his game because he's the Bundesliga man himself. And he's playing so well under Ralph. And I think he will play left wing right wing, tonight. But hopefully he ends up being a right winger because I want Rashford to be our left winger in the future, you know.
Yeah. Do you know him? Do you know much about Anthony? Let's just say we did get Ten Hag. I don't want to tempt fate, but let's just say we did. What would the situation be if Anthony and Anthony? I'm actually shocked about what I've just read. I don't know what the source is here. But can we draw Lil if this happens? Can you tell me the source, CR7 fan? What would happen with Anthony, Rashford, etc., and Sancho, obviously, who will be on the wing and where?
Yeah. I know a lot about Anthony actually. He came over from Brazil to Ajax a year or two ago, and he is a quite good player. He's very exciting. He's overrated though. I'm just going to let you know that.
Okay.
Anthony I think he reminds me of a lot of Rashford now, as in terms of he's quite clearly a samba footballer, and he loves skill moves, and when they come off, he obviously looks like prime Maradona, but he is too complacent on the ball. And I know I'd rather sign Cody Gakpo, who plays for PSV, or someone like that. I know Anthony's a very good player, and I think he'd be very good for us, but if we played him and Rashford together on the wings, we would lose the ball so much. But Anthony is a good player. Don't get me wrong. I think he's joined the top assister with Bruno in the Champions League, or he was at least. He is a very good winger. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. But
we can't forget.
I just think he's a bit too complacent.
People, including myself, because I forgot this until Statman Dave did a piece of analysis on it on Saturday, and Marcus Rashford was the third top highest scorer in the Champions League last season. Only Mbappe and Haaland were above him, I think it was, or Mbappe and Lewandowski, was it?
And we didn't even get to round 16, so he did score a lot.
He has got quality, like there's absolutely no doubting. He has got quality, and I believe that he's got this football IQ, which some people are saying he's not got. But again, he's got to. I understand he loves the club and he wants to play, and he's unhappy about game time, but he's got to earn it. You've got to earn that game time. You absolutely have to, and this has come from a lot of thought. I've spent hours thinking about this because I love Rashford, but it's like I love the club more than Rashford. Do you know what I mean? So much more.
Exactly.
It's got to be. You've got to earn that game time. Gavin says, "Afternoon, lads. Hope you're having a good stream. Same goals."
There you go.
I can't believe. Imagine if that Chelsea game does not go ahead.
That would be mad.
Wow.
Now, I did see Chelsea ask for a game behind closed doors.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're playing at home this leg. I'm not sure. I might be wrong. It
It's
might
at
be the FA
Middlesbrough's
Cup game.
ground. It's at
Middlesbrough, is
ground,
it?
and
Sorry,
Middlesbrough
I'm
not
wrong.
happy at all. Middlesbrough not happy. The statement from Middlesbrough was a good statement, I believe. Agreed, very good, but a system play, specifically a Ten Hag system. Armani says Anthony is not overrated. Sancho featuring Anthony is a good. Sancho.
I agree with
Anthony
that.
Yeah. Kessié has a verbal agreement with Barca. I think we spoke about Kessié, didn't we? Right, Declan.
When he was,
before we go, Declan Rice.
When he was linked to United.
Yeah, sorry, go on. Sorry, go on. That was my.
No, I was just gonna say, Kessie. When you were talking about when he was linked to United, and we obviously agreed that he'd be a decent player for us. But I do like Barca, and they're my second team. When it comes to other leagues, but he's a funny player because Milan are also my Italian team because my brother supports him, but he is a very good player, and I think he would be so good in any league because of his strengths. And that is done. He's going to be a free agent signing for Barcelona. That's a coup, I think. And he would have been brilliant for us, but obviously we're not good enough in the transfer market. Where Barca
I thought we would have gone for him, to be honest. Now, if Chelsea do have this transfer ban, obviously there's so many factors that comes into this, but if they do have this ban where they can't, or sanction where they can't buy anyone, and Rice is now reportedly from United Puppeteers a club target and not a manager target, similar to Paul Pogba in the sense before we bought Pogba. Do you think it's very likely now we spend, let's say, 80 to 100 million on Declan Rice?
I think it all comes down to whether we get top four or not.
Yeah.
Or Champions League football, sorry. Oh, it's tough because I do like Rice, and we've discussed him before on the channel. And I do actually. Ultimately, I do rate him. I think he's a very good midfielder, and he's not worth 100 million or 80 million, in my opinion. I know you think that, but I think there's too much problems that we need to fill in the squad in the summer to be spending that amount of money on. And it is a crucial position, but we need to be spending kind of like what Liverpool do, or let's see, we spend 40 million ish, like in every position. We're linked to a lot of young strikers because Ronaldo's apparently said we need one. We need a winger. We need a midfielder on Pogba goes. We need a centre back. You could argue we need a right back. Some fans want a goalkeeper. Well, I don't know. But,
I'm not sure we need a right back, and you know the right back that I love, but I don't think we need a right back. I think Delo has been very good. To be
no, I agree. Yeah, I really like Delo, and I don't know why he was. I don't get it. He was
sort of frozen out, like in the first leg. Why was Lindelof at right back, and I don't understand. I would never understand that.
Do you know the funny thing about that is Lindelof was probably the best player in the pitch that day because everyone was so bad, and he was
that game. That game is the exact reason why I will never do a United watch along. My head was gone. My head was gone. I will never be on camera like that. Never. I'd end up just abusing everyone, verbally abusing everyone, saying "fuck you." Do you know what I mean? To everyone. My head was gone. But Rafinha is way better than Anthony. CR7 fan says. You love Kessie. Would you say you love Kessie?
Yeah, I don't love him. I just rate him more than others because I actually watched him and he's very good.
Yeah, Forza Milan. Part of you, you're a City fan seeing this title. Unfortunately, this is what we're currently aiming for towards the end of the season as United fans. So. Unfortunately, but I guess you can rub it in, Josh. I guess you can rub it in. It's what rivalry is about. So my source told me Rice is more realistic than Kane. We need to get both. We shouldn't have. Theo shouldn't have renewed. We should have come to Old Trafford. Do you like Theo Hernandez?
I love Theo Hernandez. He's brilliant. He's a goal scoring fullback. Like who does that? You know. No, he is very good.
Roberto Carlos,
he is very good.
It.
Yeah. No, the thing is, Theo, he did sign a new contract, and he's basically the captain of Milan now. When certain players don't play, he's the captain, and he is very passionate about AC Milan. And The funny thing about Theo Hernandez is he's won Champions Leagues at Real Madrid. Like he's no fool when it comes to trophies won and that. And I think they'll win the Scudetto this season with AC Milan because everyone around them is so bad. But yeah, he would be brilliant in Man United. But of course, I rate Luke Shaw as well, and Tellez is so good at the moment. So it's
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Shaw right now.
Right.
It was the first leg of the Atletico Madrid game which infuriated me with Shaw when he came off. I don't know whether you noticed this. He just looked so emotionless, so much like he didn't care. Like you've just had one of the worst performances of the season as a team, and you've come off and you look emotionless. I'll give an example of Rashford when he performed absolutely terribly against Villarreal in the Europa League final. And he came off and he just had his head in his hands and he looked upset and angry. And Shaw, to me, that night just looked emotionless. Stood up in front of the TV screaming at him. I was screaming bloody murder at him. Unbelievable. I don't know whether you noticed that, though. Did you notice that with Shaw?
No, I didn't. And it's not that I'm surprised by it because there's talk he's our 5th choice captain, our 4th choice captain. Yeah, I know. And I've seen Romano when the Super League stuff was happening that the 3 big players,
Maguire, Shaw, and someone else, wasn't it?
Bruno, Maguire, and Shaw, were like the big vocal leaders about that. And I've seen people say he has leadership qualities. Now, happy days if he does, but the thing is, Luke Shaw, Tellez is playing so well at the moment, and as much as I dislike Tellez because of my Luke Shaw love, you have to give credit to Tellez. Like he's playing so well at the moment.
Oh yeah, he played very well the other night.
The Atletico game, he was bad, So
there was I'll let you know about this. There was a very entertaining argument behind me the other night at Old Trafford. There was around 2 or 3 men having a go at the lads behind me for standing up during the game. But generally, so where we're sat, generally either everyone sat down or everyone stood up. It's just whichever the way the world's spinning on which match day. And this day everyone was stood up. But
right,
these men were just having a go at these lads for being stood up, and it was a funny argument, swearing and everything. It was hilarious. It was hilarious to listen to, honestly.
Yeah, I've been to a few games at Old Trafford. It's brilliant. Oh, I absolutely love the atmosphere. It's brilliant.
Oh yeah, it's definitely. Rice is better, but Tonali is a solid player. Sangare is a perfect fit for United. Do you know much about Sangare?
Yeah, I do. He is a brilliant defensive midfielder. He was playing with Toulouse in France a few years ago, and I thought we should have signed him. I don't know if you remember Samare, who plays for
he's in Leicester.
Yes, he plays Leicester now. Yeah, he was at Lille.
Worked out very well, that transfer.
No, I'm surprised by that because we should have went for him when he was in Ligue 1. And him and Sangare are brilliant defensive mids. And Sangare went to PSV about a year or 2 ago. He got Player of the Month a few months ago in Eredivisie, which is a decent league. I don't care what people say. Sangare he'd be very good at United. I just don't know if he's the right quality of a Declan Rice, for example.
No,
but he is a very good midfielder.
No, yeah. Tonali's amazing future Milan captain. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Him and Tonali, future Milan captain.
Convinced by Sangare, yeah. I think Armani, as far as I'm aware, he's French, or at least supports France. I know he's from Barbados. And Sangare is French. Am I right, or is he? He's
Ivory Coast.
Sorry, that's my bad. I might be thinking of someone else there. Sorry, I do apologise. Talk to them about Tomori, definitely centre back. Do you think he should be playing in the World Cup for England?
He definitely should. I really like Tomori. I did like my Chelsea. It's just a shame that he played for Chelsea. I do really rate Tomori. Yeah, he's quite underrated. Fikayo Tomori was a brilliant signing last season. I still do like him. Like he's very suited to Serie A because it's not as fast as the Premier League. So, and he is a very quick centre back. He's very good and he's quite dominant in the year. I say that's why Chris Smalling is. I don't know how he's doing at the moment because I don't really follow Roma ever since Jose went because I dislike Jose, and his football. But Smalling was very good at Roma when we loaned him to Roma. So it seems to be a common theme with English centre backs. doing well in foreign countries. Reece Oxford's doing well for Augsburg as well. And Germany, he was a West Ham
I
youngster.
thought he was
But
going to be something
Tomori,
special when he made
so
his
did
debut
I, man.
against
Yeah,
Arsenal. It was against Arsenal
yeah,
where he was 16 and he had like a man in a
mm,
match performance. So I remember watching it. I thought
yeah,
it was
yeah.
going to be something special.
Same. Yeah, I
Yeah,
really liked
it's
Reece
not.
Oxford, but
Yeah, it's
he's
not
he's,
worked
he's
out
doing
as well.
his no, not really. He's doing his thing in mid-table in Bundesliga,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah. But anyway, back to Tomori. I think he should be in the World Cup squad. I can't really name much better centre backs than Fikayo Tomori.
So let's
You
say
know,
Maguire is playing. Let's just say he is.
right?
It'd be Maguire, Stones, and Kilman for me. Because five at
Okay,
the back will be played,
yeah,
won't it?
yeah, but
So it'd be Maguire, Stones, and Kilman for me.
all right,
Maybe Tomori, Stones, and Kilman, but
yeah,
again, I think Maguire will be picked. And I think
yeah,
he
you will.
probably should be picked based on how he performs for England, which is very well. Tomori is class, Sangare very good. Leao is class as well for us. Milan. Do you
Yeah.
like Leao? Yeah,
Yeah, Raphael's
yeah,
very good.
yeah.
The only thing with Leo is this turned into an AC Milan chat. I'm so
It
sorry.
has, yeah.
I've done this.
I do
I've done this. I'm so
apologise.
sorry.
I do apologise.
But no. Yeah, listen. Last thing on Milan, Raphael Leo is he's a very good winger. He's a bit what's the word? Erratic, and he's a bit his decision making isn't great at times, but it is coming on well, and he's turned into a prolific winger for AC Milan now. So yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah. Sorry. Maguire, Tomori, White, possibly.
Yeah,
And Ben White is quite underrated. Now to Arsenal and Leicester, and I have talking to a few people about this. And my uncle actually agreed with me. And some of these players in this Arsenal team, I've got a soft spot for them. And Gabriel and Gabriel Martinelli. It would have sounded like I'm saying Gabriel Martinelli. Ben White, Ramsdale, Cedric to an extent, Smith Rowe, Saka. They're a likeable team. Although I don't like Arsenal as a club, really. Well, I don't like them at all as a club. And I'm hoping they lose every game. But
Of course.
like the way Arteta has built this squad is very good, but not also just Arteta. The board and Edu, they've had a lot of patience with him, and I know that Man United had a lot of patience with Solskjaer, for example, and Mourinho to a certain extent, and that was quite limited. But the way they built the squad is very good, and I doubted it a lot. I remember, I think it was the first game week review I did, and I was laughing about Arsenal saying they've just spent, what is it, 100 million, 150 million on shite. It's working out very well.
Yeah.
Do you think it's worked out very well?
It's it's so funny, Arsenal. You know, I'm friends with a mate in school that's an Arsenal fan, and or two of them, sorry, and they always said we had high hopes for some players that you mentioned there, and I've been on record for taking a piss out of Ben White and how we spent 30 odd million on Varane and they spent 50 odd on Ben White, and I thought it was scandalous. It was so funny. He's turning into a £50 million centre back, Ben White. Now he's not there at the moment, but him and Gabriel have such a great partnership at the back.
Yeah.
And listen, in about 18 months ago, I was very I really rated Mikel Arteta, sorry. And I know a certain Arsenal YouTube channel that's quite big for making big meal out of things and is very reactionary. We're printing out t-shirts saying Arteta out and stuff like that. And I was just laughing because I'm thinking there to myself, I can't believe you are forcing a very, very underrated and a very young, a very great manager out of the club because of like you said, the shit he has in front of him. He has built the club into a top 4 club. And I was thinking,
I think a few more signings they're challenging for the title, to be honest.
I completely agree. They need quality in midfield because Granit Xhaka is very erratic, as I previously mentioned. And I know they had the B-Tech Anthony Elanga on the wing, but he is playing really well at the moment, Kosaka. I think if they signed Vlahovic in the winter transfer window, they would be a serious side. Now,
Yeah,
they do
they
need a
do
top
look
quality
very, very
striker.
good.
But
They do
if
look.
they got a striker, a defensive midfielder, and probably like I think Tommy Aster's good, so I can't really say him. I think they had a backup midfield option that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
decent, like a Nabil
uh,
Fekir or something like that.
yeah.
They would
There
be a
is
very good side.
there is some breaking news, and you're not going to believe that this is actually real. I don't know if you've read it. This is in the last
I had a
7
glimpse.
minutes. Um,
Yeah.
This is real. I'm reading this. I've got this comment up on screen, but I'm also on the Twitter tab right now. Atletico
Yeah.
Madrid in panic after leaving tactics board for Man United clash at Old Trafford.
Is that true?
I'm gonna share my screen just to prove that I'm not
Yeah,
even
sure.
bullshitting people. This is from Neil Custis. I'll click on his actual thing. 82K followers. Look, can you see that? Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. So Neil Cuss is very
Unbelievable.
reliable.
Yeah,
I'm
he is.
I'm
He
very
is.
surprised by that.
Wow. I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing for us because now it's unpredictable.
That's crazy.
Martinelli is a genuine star. Tell me that's real. It's real, man. It is real. Class mid, top striker. That's they need that. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Calvert-Lewin looks likely for Arsenal if Everton go down. I don't think Calvert-Lewin would do very well at Arsenal. I'll rate him, but I don't know. Schick to
I
Arsenal,
agree.
great transfer in my opinion. Josh says that could be a shout.
I think the thing is with Arsenal, they don't really whip crosses in, like high crosses for headers and stuff. So I don't know whether physical dominant strikers like Patrick Schick. I think Schick would be very good for us because we have Telles, Shaw, Delo, who cross balls, and obviously I left out Wan-Bissaka because he doesn't really cross well. But like Ronaldo, when he gets a cross in the box, he usually gets the header on target or close to the goal.
Yeah.
So if we had a Patrick Schick, who I do rate as well against Bayer Leverkusen, he had a great Euros, or an Alexander Isaac, or a Calvert-Lewin, I think he's a bit expensive, but because he's English. But I think Arsenal need a fluid striker who can play on the wing or up front, and they can interchange. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. West Ham 2, Aston Villa 1. It's always nice to see Gerrard getting beat. Now, Saeed Benrahma, I'm not sure. I think I might have had a conversation with you about Saeed Benrahma, and he's one of them players where I really rate him, but he needs to get amongst the goals and assists more, and he started doing that at the start of the season, and he just wasn't doing that recently. He hasn't been doing that recently, but he's just got 2 assists in this game against Aston Villa. Now, do you think he's going to be this special player that he was touted to be and that Arsenal wanted, or do you think he's just going to be not sort of average?
Yeah, it's Patrick Schick's a funny, or not Patrick Schick. Saeed Benrahma is a funny one because he came from Brentford as well. Like a lot of attackers seem to be coming through Brentford. He was in the Championship with Neil Maupay, playing really well up front a few years ago for Brentford. The thing is, Saeed Benrahma, I think West Ham, like you are right, he's quite inconsistent in terms of goals and assists.
Yeah,
but he does play well. I think West Ham's his level. Like Manuel Lanzini's the very same. I thought Lanzini was going to be really good a few years ago, but he kind of petered out. And I think Benrahma is going to be the same. They're going to be just in and around the team, pop up with the odd goal every now and again, play 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10s every game, and just gradually just retire.
One player who isn't, to me, one of the worst players in the league, to be quite honest. I think they could have done with Lingard so much more than him. I think people are going to disagree with me. Vlasic, I think he's awful. I do not rate him one bit. I think if you had Lingard instead of Vlasic, I think they would have got top 4, to be quite honest. Or at least been still challenging more than they already are. Do you agree, or do you rate Vlasic?
Yeah, see, Niko Vlasic played for CSKA Moscow in Russia, and which I'm not going to go into politics, but especially now, Russian league quality is not. It's not that. It's not great because I've seen players like the Miranchuk brothers, they're attack midfielders who play in Russia.
They play for Atalanta, don't they?
Yeah, one went to Atlanta, and I forgot where the other one went. I think he might have stayed. But they went to Italy anyway, one of them did, and the other went somewhere at Lexi, and I can't remember the other one. They weren't good. We've seen with what's his
No,
name?
it's
Is
fine.
it
I
Concorum?
swear more than you. It's fine.
Oh yeah, there is. No, they have a lot. There's a lot of players who came from Russia, that are not, and that are Russian. Sorry, that are not up to scratch. I mean, we can go back as Yuri Zirkov, who went from Zenit to Chelsea and he left back, and he was
Yeah.
dreadful. There's so much players that come from the Russian league who look brilliant, but just aren't that. Now,
No,
I think
yeah.
there's one player that's going to be good, and that's Jori Larsson, who's Sebastian Larsson's son. He's Swedish, plays for Spartak Moscow. But that's like they have no quality of players. I think they're quite bad. Now, Vlasic is Croatian, but he was playing well in the Russian league, and I thought it was a sensible signing from West Ham at the time. Now, I did agree. I thought Lingard was cheaper, and he made more sense to go for. But they went for Nikola Vlasic because we couldn't get Lingard, which is fair enough. But I think there's just other players that could have got Bar. He's not doing well at West Ham.
No.
But he is a decent player. The only thing is they signed him from the Russian league, so
yeah,
it was quite obvious he was destined to fail enough. So
yeah, I can agree with that. Jacob Ramsey, now I doubted him a lot during lockdown. I just felt like he played every game and did nothing, like absolutely nothing. He's starting to contribute a lot more now, and it seems like Steven Gerrard, sadly, is getting the best out of him. Do you rate him? Do you think it's going to be something special or?
Jacob Ramsey's a very good player. It's funny. He's turned him into a box-to-box midfielder. Now, Ramsey's quite creative. He played really well against us in the 2-2 draw when Coutinho played his first game for Villa. Yes, I really like Jacob Ramsey, but he's more of a number 10, an attacking midfielder. But he's a very good player. He's special, I think. I wouldn't say he's in the Smith Rowe, Bitek Alanga, Anthony Alanga. I don't think he's in that tier, but I think he's in the one below. Like, he's not going to be England's best player or England's best midfielder. I think he'll be in England's squad for the World Cup. I think he will.
Yeah.
But then again, there might be other players that just edge him out. He is a very good player, though. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. Gallagher or Jacob Ramsey, I'd have to say Gallagher for sure. Would you?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we discussed Conor Gallagher before. He's not in form, but he's so.
I was discussing him today actually with someone else.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just rate him highly. Watford now. Watford won 2-1 against Southampton. Let me check where they are on the table. They're 18th with level on points with Everton, who've got 3 games in hand to play one of them this week on Thursday. Now, let's just say Everton don't win them 3 games, which it's not very likely they don't win games. What could Watford stay up?
Yeah, we were discussing Watford before. Watford is such they actually have a decent forward line, and they made decent signings for cost efficiency wise. It's quite good. Like, they signed a few League One players who are decent, who were quite cheap, and they have a brilliant front trio: Sarr, King, and Emmanuel Dennis, who are, I actually do rate all two. I rate 2 of them bar King. I don't think he's that good, but they do have a decent team. Watford. I just don't know if they're good enough to stay up. Like, it's all down to if Everton and other teams like I suppose Brentford. I know he said that they're not relegation anymore. They're not in and around that. But teams like that, and Newcastle as well. I think they're soaring up the league now. I don't know where they are now. I think they're 13, something like that. But I think Watford are going to go down purely because they're not good enough defensively. But I wouldn't mind backing them to stay up as well, though, you know.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Now Leeds versus Norwich. Leeds 2, Norwich 1. Do you reckon Leeds are going to stay up, or do you reckon they go down? And are you hoping they stay up just for our annual 6 points against them, or are you hoping they go down?
Yeah, I had this discussion on Sunday with my granddad, who's a Leeds supporter. Which so
but it's not in that household when United are playing Leeds.
Yeah. Listen, you know, and he's quite passionate as well. He loves Luke Ayling, hates everyone else. You know, he's one of them lads. But it's funny. It's because the way they played under Bielsa, I thought was very entertaining. And I think a lot of people did. Bielsa's a decent manager, but I don't think he was kind of inevitable that he was going to get battered a few games in a row and then be sacked because they're in a dangerous position. I don't think they'll go down. I think they'll stay up because Bamford's coming back and he got a few minutes the other game. Now, Bamford's perfect for them, perfect strike for them. But as soon as June 1st hits, I think Rafinha's gone, Calvin Phillips is gone. I don't know who, but obviously I rate Rafinha. He's a very good winger, and I seen someone in the comments earlier saying he's better than Anthony, and he is. He's quite good, Rafinha. Calvin Phillips is a very good midfielder as well. Had decent Euros. Unlucky with injuries, and Bamford might go as well. Now they do have a few foreign players like Robin Koch and Paco Strike, Meslier, who's an alright keeper. I think they will lose just too much key players in the summer, and they will just go down. So
yeah, I can agree with that. Now Everton versus Wolves. Do you think Everton are going down?
That's like the $1 million question, isn't it? You know, that, I think it's a 50-50 whether they go down or not, to be honest. And I don't want to see Everton go down because they're one of the only teams never to get relegated. They're a founding team in the Premier League, and they have a good bit of history and they have decent players. I just don't know how they're going down. You know, it's strange because I thought the sign of Donny Van de Beek and Dele Alli would boost that, and they would just comfortably be at 15th. You know,
yeah.
But Frank Lampard, I don't know. Like he's just. I think Donny Van de Beek missed out on that Crystal Palace loan like massively. He should have went to Palace. I don't know why he was fixed on Everton, but it's an absolute shambles.
Didn't we?
Yeah,
I said at the time it's a bad decision. Yeah, it's not worked out. If Watford played United every week, they probably win the league. Unfortunately, yeah. FA confirmed Chelsea FC has agreed to remove their request for the Emirates FA Cup quarter-final tie against Middlesbrough to be played behind closed doors. So what are they going to do? They're going to forfeit the game. They can't afford to travel there. What can they do? Again, we don't know if they're going to finish the season. Now, on to the next game. Sorry about that. Everton Wolves was just done. Chelsea Newcastle.
Yeah.
Now, again, obviously there's so much going on around Chelsea. Newcastle gave them a difficult game. What do you think Newcastle's aims are going to be next season?
Newcastle, they seem to be very ambitious, and I respect that. They seem like the new Manchester City of 2008 because that's when City were born. So, like, you know, they seem to be like that. Where Newcastle actually have history, where City don't. So, or previous history. Newcastle, they've had the best striker in his Premier League history in Alan Shearer. They had David Ginola. They had all these players who come through the ranks from the 90s up till 2000s, where they had club legends like Hatem Ben Arfa, who everyone loved. People like Papa Cisse, Tim Krul. They really, it's unfortunate that they got relegated and now they're back up in the Premier League, and they were hovering in the relegation zone under Rafa and who's the manager? I've completely forgot.
Ancelotti. No.
Who's the manager?
Sorry.
I completely forgot. Yeah.
I'm thinking we're still on Everton.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway.
I can't remember.
Eddie Howe's been brought in. Whoever the old manager was. And Eddie Howe has stabilised the ship. And he's been backed. He's got Kieran Trippier, who's a decent fullback. They bought some good signings. Bruno Guimaraes got a class goal. It's such a good goal the weekend, backheel goal. And they're just getting the 3 points. They're winning every game 2-1, all these individual brilliance. And I think they're going to get to the summer and they're going to do very well in the transfer window because they have very good scouts and that, clearly. And I think they'll sign Boubacar Kamara from Marseille on a free. I think they'll sign some Premier League players, like probably Ismail Assar. They might sign a few players to go down. I do back them to do well, Newcastle, and I think they're going to push for either 10th to 7th, you know, in that range. I think they'll do it. And obviously, it's going to be tough next season because I think United are going to drop down into that position in the near future. Because I hope not either as well. But I think the next thing we're winning is going to be the Conference League. I think we're just not we're not ambitious as the other top 3 teams in the league, as well as Arsenal. Spurs are on the same level as us. Aston Villa, as we already mentioned, are doing so well. Newcastle are ambitious new owners. It's going to be a struggle, you know, and I think I see Newcastle are going to be that team who are going to rise from the ashes, and they're going to compete for the league in the next 4 years. I think Newcastle have a better chance to win the league than us in the next few years. And I
Yeah.
think that's probably a very obvious
Unfortunately, I
statement.
agree. Yeah, I do
Yeah,
agree.
but
How long do
they
you
will
reckon he'll
push and
last?
build.
Eventually, he will have to leave when they're aiming for the top. How long do you think he'll
Yes,
last? I think 2 years.
yeah, probably a year and a half, 2 years,
Yeah,
because they realise that Eddie Howe is not a top 6 manager, and they'll get rid of him for a
yeah,
more exciting manager, probably Graham Potter, something like that. Who
yeah,
has potential.
yeah. I can agree with that. Right, Crystal Palace City. It's the only one thing to talk about here: the title race. Who do you think is going to win the league?
Oh, that's tough. I think I think City are going to win it. They're just too good.
Yeah,
Liverpool, I think they. That's hard actually, because Liverpool fans, I've never given Liverpool the credit and respect this season, because I don't know. Last season, sort of waned on me because they had injuries, and I was thinking, they're going to finish third again. But Liverpool are obviously going to. I know a few years ago when we had Ollie and as an interim, Liverpool and City went to the deaths the last game. They both had 98, 97 points.
yeah.
And it went down to one result at the end of the season. There's a potential for that this season. I mean, I don't know how much points are in between them now, but listen, I think City are just going to win it.
Yeah, there is.
That's all I'll say.
Scousers are 4 points behind with the game in hand.
Right.
So it's
Okay.
going to be very interesting. I do want to thank everyone for tuning in, by the way. I will next be live tomorrow at 7:45 p.m. UK time. That will be with an Arsenal-Liverpool watch-along, but also obviously trying to keep up to date with the Champions League scores, etc., etc. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I should be live I might be live on Thursday if I decide to stream, but should be live once on Saturday and once on Sunday as well, because United don't play. Before we go, let's get your score prediction for tonight. What's your score prediction?
I think it's going to be extra time, 0-0, and Delanga's going to score in the 106th minute.
Oh, that would be amazing. It'd be worth the wait. It'd be worth going to extra time.
Yeah.
But thank you everyone for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow at 7:45 p.m. with a watch along. Remember to tune into that. Remember to keep an eye on my Twitter as well for any more updates on anything.